Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And my name is Catherine. And today, Marco and I get to share with you the thrilling conclusion to the, very popular, I must say, series.
Popular.
I'm Sorry, I Love You.
That's right. Today is the finale, the final episode, episode 10. This is where it all ends. So what do you think is going to happen?
If I guess, you're just going to get angry at me because I actually know how it ends. But let's just say I hope that it ends well for our protagonists.
There was a lot of controversy around it because, I wanted to know if people wanted a happy ending, a sad ending, unexpected. I guess everyone wants a happy ending, right?
Absolutely. So we're going to, keep our fingers crossed for Steven and Veronica and check out this dialogue one time.
Steven, good to see you, brother. How are you? How was your trip?
It was fine. I've been better, but it's great to be home. I've missed you all. How's Mom?
She's great. All she ever does is talk about you, her little boy that went to United States. You're her pride and joy. You know that, right?
Can't wait to see her. You? What's new with you?
Well, 𝗕ន់and I are expecting. You'll have another nephew or niece soon.
That's great. Wow! Congrats! You two are great together, You have such a beautiful family. I hope that one day I can have that.
Of course, man. Come on. I mean, everything was set here for you to marry Shalini. She's still pining after you. I don't think she'll ever get over you.
What are you talking about? I hardly knew her. How could she be in love with me? I couldn't go through with it, even though she's a great woman. No, I left my heart in the United States. I just hope Veronica is happy.
Get over it. You're home now. Everyone here thinks so highly of you. There'll be girls throwing themselves at you. You can marry anyone you want.
I don't want to marry anyone. I want to marry her. Don't you understand?
You are incorrigible.
Steven, my baby, how are you? I miss you so much.
Hey, Mom. Great to see you.
You look so thin. Didn't those Americans feed you? Come, let's have some Thai. By the way, there is a girl here waiting for you.
Hi, Steven.
Veronica, how did you get here? How do you know where I live? I waited for you at the airport, but you never showed.
I also have some little secrets that I haven't told you about, but we can discuss that later. I realized that I was just scared of how much I love you and of the commitment that marriage requires. I'm here now. Now, there's something I want to ask you. Steven, will you marry me?
I now declare you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
All right, so they got married. Oh, you got married.
We got married. I got married.
Yeah.
Wow, I should have called my mom.
And not only did you get married, but you got married Bollywood style with like music and everything nice.
And those weddings are like 4 days long.
I hope you enjoyed the finale of this story.
Absolutely. I was glad to see that it was a happy ending. I have to say, if it had been a sad ending, I would have been a little bit disappointed because, Veronica and I...
You get along.
We get along.
All right. So apart from this happy ending and this happy finale that we had, we did look at a lot of great words and phrases. So why don't we start now with language takeaway?
Language takeaway.
So the first couple of phrases I want to talk about here have to do with maybe catching up and talking about family or gossip, because we're talking to
a family member.
Steven's Indian family who he hasn't seen for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing he's talking to his brother about his brother and his wife. So 𝗨𝗏 and 𝗕ន់are expecting, we find out.
Right, they're expecting. So if 𝗨𝗏 and 𝗕ន់are expecting, what does that mean exactly?
They're expecting a letter.
Expecting a baby, maybe?
Aha, yeah. So here we go. I'm expecting is a very common English way of saying I'm going to have a baby. I'm pregnant.
All right. So don't get this confused. If somebody says, oh, well, I'm expecting, you don't have to say expecting what?
Exactly. When it's only expecting, when it's not a thing afterwards, I'm expecting means I'm pregnant, or she's expecting. She's going to have a baby.
So they are expecting a baby, or they're expecting. Well, and they were talking about, so Stephen, he was supposed to get married in India, and his brother said a very interesting word. He said, well, these girls are still, this girl is still pining over you.
So this Shalini, some girl that Stephen used to know when he was living in India, she's pining after you. Well, pine has many different meanings in English. But in this sense, we're talking about having a crush on or being in love with.
And also it's a way of saying that you desire, you yearn for this person very, very much.
But that you don't have them.
Right.
You want them.
You want them. So you're pining over this person. Now, can you pine over an object?
No.
Usually it's maybe related to love or to a person, right?
Yeah, so she stands by the door every day waiting the letter that doesn't come. She's pining away for her dear love, Thomas, or whatever.
And you know what I read recently is that people can get addicted to pining.
Really?
Yeah, after a breakup, maybe you can pine after a person, not because you miss them or you want to, but you kind of grow accustomed to it and you become addicted to this pain that's kind of pleasurable.
There is a way to describe this. It's called Petrarchan love. Well, it's this kind of traditional idea in poetry where you have a love that's never consummated, that's never filled. You never get to be with the person that you love, that you desire. And so it's a way of distinguishing the two different kinds of love. One where you're with the person and the other where you always want them, but you can never have them.
Well, wait, hopefully none of our listeners are pining over anyone or get to experience that, huh?
Exactly. But if you do pine away or you pine after someone, you have to hope that one day you'll get over that person.
Yeah, you have to get over it. And that's what his brother says. Hey, get over it.
I don't think she'll ever get over you.
So what does it mean when you're supposed to get over someone?
Okay, this is a good question because, we're talking here not about actually getting up on top of a fence or a wall. We're talking about emotions. So getting over someone, so I have to get over him means that I have to stop feeling so sad about what happened, right? Because usually you say this when someone's sad or angry.
And also it kind of means that you have to forget or let that person go, get over it.
We're going to move on here too to the last word in today's language takeaway, which is incorrigible.
Okay, an incorrigible person.
All right, incorrigible. What could this mean? Well, let's look at the sentence where we find it. You are incorrigible. Ghulam says this to Stephen.
Right. So it's an adjective, and basically it means that you have no correction of some sort.
Where there's an argument between Stephen and Ghulam. So they're brothers, and Stephen says, I don't want to get married. I don't want to marry her. He's complaining, and his brother says, you are incorrigible. You just won't stop.
Right.
So someone's feelings, their emotions, their ideas about something, they just can't be changed or altered. They're fixed. This guy, he's like, I'm not going to get married. And his brother says, you're incorrigible. I just can't change your mind.
It's kind of like being stubborn.
Yeah, exactly. And we hear this phrase a lot together. So you're incorrigible, right? So this is often just kind of it's not an insult, but it's a way for us to kind of be sarcastic or to make fun of someone. You're incorrigible, Marco. Usually you say it when you're loud, you're being nice.
All right. Okay, cool. So 5 great words in language takeaway today. And well, before we move on and listen to the dialogue again, why don't we take a look at Fluency Builder?
Fluency Builder.
All right, this first phrase is something that parents often use, and grandparents as well, because obviously parents and grandparents, they're very proud of their children, their grandchildren. So they describe something as being their pride and joy.
My pride and joy. So it's usually a person that's your pride and joy?
It could be a thing too.
It could be a thing.
His Porsche Boxster is his pride and joy. He goes out every morning and he washes it. He changes the oil. He checks the gas. He checks the tires. So it's his pride and joy.
All right.
It's his most valued possession.
So it always goes together, right? My pride and joy.
Pride and joy. Yeah, just think of it as a phrase. Pride and joy.
All right.
So, I'm my mother's pride and joy.
I think you are. All right. So
You don't know my mom.
all right. So somebody's pride and joy. So now another phrase that we took a look at, and it's a way of making conversation, especially with a person that you haven't seen in a while. He said, hey, what's new with you?
What's new with you?
What's new with you?
All right, so this might sound a little strange because normally we say, how have you been? It's been a long time.
How are you?
But this is like, it's a fluency builder phrase. So it's very colloquial, it's very spoken language. So this you hear often between friends or family members. Hey, Marco, what's new with you?
So how do you, I would answer this by saying, oh, well, not much, or I just bought a new house. So basically you're asking for news from a person.
I haven't seen you in a long time. You look happy and healthy. So what's new with you? Oh, I got married. I got a new car. These things that you can say, these are changes in my life.
All right. And usually after somebody asks you what's new with you, you say something, and then you usually would follow up and ask that person as well, right? What's new, and what's new with you?
Exactly. So, I got a new house, got a new job. What's new with you?
Yeah. Or what about you?
What about you? So it's a nice, very relaxed, informal way of asking someone for news in their life.
Perfect. All right. What's new with you? What else? Now, he was supposed to get married, right?
Right. So this is news. He was supposed to get married. He didn't get married. What's going on? His brother, his mother, they all want to know what's going on. And we find out that wedding, that girl, he just couldn't go through with it.
So I couldn't go through with it.
Okay, this past tense. So he's saying, before I came to India with this girl, I couldn't go through with it.
So present would be I can't go through with it.
And going through with what here? We've got it. This kind of magical, strange word, it. What could this be?
So basically what he's saying is that he couldn't complete or maybe finish something that he started, right?
So in this case, we're talking about
marriage.
A relationship.
Or marriage. Yeah, a relationship.
So maybe we loved each other, but I couldn't go through with it. I couldn't go to the finish line.
Right, I couldn't get married. You see that a lot when maybe in movies, two people are supposed to get married, they're at the altar, and all of a sudden the bride says, I can't, or she goes away crying.
I can't go through with this.
Exactly, right? So because she loves somebody else, so can't go through with it.
Great, so really good phrase. I can't go through with it. He couldn't go through with it. And we find out that, well, not such a bad thing. Steven, he's very popular in India. The girls love him. We've got a great phrase for describing having lots of girls who love you.
Right, he says there will be girls throwing themselves at you.
Literally, like, ow, that might
I can't
hurt.
imagine that, like just somebody throwing themselves at you. No, it's not literal. It's basically saying girls are very interested in you. Girls are so interested in you that they'll be chasing you almost.
All right, so many girls, they will follow you. They want to be in a relationship with you. They like you. So he's saying, listen, there are other girls. Don't worry.
Right.
Girls here, they love you.
And it doesn't only work with girls, right? I can say there'll be boys throwing themselves at you.
Right. So this is something we say about both genders, boys and girls. You could say, "Oh God, all the boys were throwing themselves at her. I'm so jealous."
Right. So, but it's only basically in a loving way, right? It can't be anything else, like somebody's chasing you for other reasons.
No, this is saying that they have crushes, they have feelings, they want to be romantic. It's not a bad thing, but sometimes it's too much attention, so it can be kind of negative.
Yeah. All right. Well, interesting phrases on Fluency Builder today. I think it's time for us to listen to this dialogue for one last time.
Get up and dance.
Yeah, get up and dance, and we'll be back in a little bit.
You know, Mia, the other day I was walking home, and I started thinking, every step we take leaves some kind of mark on the world. But then I realized we also leave invisible marks, like our carbon footprint.
That's a really powerful way to put it, Alex. A carbon footprint is basically the total amount of greenhouse gases, especially carbon dioxide, that we create through our daily activities. It's like leaving footprints on a beach, except these marks don't wash away.
Exactly. And sometimes people think only big factories or airplanes are the problem. But the truth is, even simple choices, like how we cook, how we travel, or even the kind of clothes we buy, add up to a massive impact.
Right. For example, driving a car alone every day releases much more carbon than taking the bus or sharing a ride with a friend. Even something small like turning off the lights when you leave a room makes a difference. The phrase I always like to teach learners is, Every little bit helps.
That's such a good phrase. And I think it's important for learners to practice sentences like, I try to reduce my carbon footprint by, and then finish it with something they actually do, like recycling, walking, or eating less meat. It makes the language real and personal.
Yes, and when you use real-life examples, the English sticks in your memory. Instead of just learning the word footprint, you connect it with your lifestyle. For example, I can say, I reduced my footprint by carrying a reusable water bottle. That's simple English, clear English, and also a positive action.
And that's what makes the topic so exciting. It's not only about the environment, it's also about how we express responsibility in English. Phrases like, do my part, make a change, or take responsibility are super useful in everyday conversations.
Absolutely. And when people hear those words, they don't just hear vocabulary, they hear motivation. Because when you say, I'm doing my part to protect the planet, it makes others think, maybe I can do that too.
Exactly. And that's why conversations like this are so powerful. They're not just teaching words, they're teaching a mindset. And I think that's the first step to really making a difference.
And listeners, if you're enjoying this, don't just keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend. Leave a comment about how you reduce your carbon footprint. And let's spread the motivation.
Alex, let me ask you this. Why do you think so many people ignore the idea of a carbon footprint? I mean, the science is clear, but people still say things like, oh, it doesn't matter what I do.
That's a really great question. I think sometimes the problem feels too big, like climbing a mountain. People think, I'm just one person, my actions are too small. But the truth is, small actions multiply. Imagine millions of people turning off one light bulb. It's a massive difference.
Exactly. And that's such a teachable phrase for our learners. Small actions multiply. You can use it not only for the environment, but in many parts of life. Studying English, saving money, even exercising.
That's true. Another expression I like is, drop by drop, the bucket fills. It means even little things add up over time. And I think if learners practice these kinds of sayings, they sound more natural and also feel motivated.
Yes, and to make it practical, let's connect it to everyday life. For example, when you cook at home, instead of using plastic bags for vegetables, you can bring a reusable cloth bag. When you drink coffee, use a travel mug instead of disposable cups. These actions sound small, but they lower your footprint.
And here's another good language tip. Practice using the word instead. For example, instead of driving, I walk to school. Or instead of buying bottled water, I refill my own bottle. It's a great structure to show choices in English. And it's exactly how we talk about reducing emissions.
I love that. It's simple English, but powerful. And learners can practice it right now. Instead of watching TV all evening, I read a book. Or instead of throwing away food, I compost it. See? You improve your English and help the planet at the same time.
And the best part is when you share your habits in English, you're not just learning the language, you're also inspiring someone else. That's the beauty of combining learning with living.
And listeners, we'd love to hear your examples using instead. Leave a comment with your own sentence. Share your small actions because your words and your actions really can multiply.
Alex, have you noticed how some people use the phrase, go green, everywhere? It's almost become a lifestyle slogan, but many learners don't really understand what it means.
That's true. Go green simply means choosing habits that are kind to the environment. It can be as small as recycling paper or as big as installing solar panels. The key is being eco-friendly. That word, eco-friendly, is very useful for learners too.
Yes, eco-friendly is a great word. You can say, this bag is eco-friendly because it's made from recycled materials. Or, my office is trying to be eco-friendly by reducing paper use. It's practical vocabulary you can use in real conversations.
Exactly. And I think it's also important for learners to notice the grammar. We usually say be eco-friendly or be energy efficient. Like, this car is energy efficient, or that company is not very eco-friendly. It's a simple way to sound natural.
And, going green doesn't mean you have to make huge sacrifices. It's about smart choices. For example, carpooling, sharing a ride with a friend. It saves money, reduces emissions, and it's a perfect word to learn. Carpool.
Yes, and you can practice sentences like, I carpool to work with my neighbor, or we carpool to school every morning. That's real, everyday English learners can use right away.
And sometimes these eco-friendly habits actually improve your life, too. Imagine drinking fresh water from a reusable bottle instead of buying plastic every time. It's healthier, cheaper, and kinder to the earth.
That's the beauty of it. When you go green, you're not just protecting the planet, you're also protecting your own future. And in English, it gives you so many great words and phrases to use in conversations.
So, listeners, try this. Today, describe one eco-friendly habit you have. Use phrases like, I go green by, or I try to be eco-friendly when. Share it with us and inspire someone else with your words.
Alex, have you noticed how some people use the phrase, go green, everywhere? It's almost become a lifestyle slogan, but many learners don't really understand what it means.
That's true. Go green simply means choosing habits that are kind to the environment. It can be as small as recycling paper or as big as installing solar panels. The key is being eco-friendly. That word eco-friendly is very useful for learners too.
Yes, eco-friendly is a great word. You can say, this bag is eco-friendly because it's made from recycled materials. Or, my office is trying to be eco-friendly by reducing paper use. It's practical vocabulary you can use in real conversations.
And another expression that's connected is energy efficient. For example, I bought an energy efficient fridge, or we use energy efficient light bulbs at home. That's the kind of English you might hear at work, in shops, or even in news reports.
Exactly. And I think it's also important for learners to notice the grammar. We usually say be eco-friendly or be energy efficient, like this car is energy efficient, or that company is not very eco-friendly. It's a simple way to sound natural.
And you know, going green doesn't mean you have to make huge sacrifices. It's about smart choices. For example, carpooling, sharing a ride with a friend. It saves money, reduces emissions, and it's a perfect word to learn. Carpool.
Yes, and you can practice sentences like, I carpool to work with my neighbor, or we carpool to school every morning. That's real, everyday English learners can use right away.
And sometimes these eco-friendly habits actually improve your life too. Imagine drinking fresh water from a reusable bottle instead of buying plastic every time. It's healthier, cheaper, and kinder to the earth.
That's the beauty of it. When you go green, you're not just protecting the planet, you're also protecting your own future. And in English, it gives you so many great words and phrases to use in conversations.
So listeners, try this. Today, describe one eco-friendly habit you have. Use phrases like, I go green by, or I try to be eco-friendly when. Share it with us and inspire someone else with your words.
Oh yes! In some countries, people give very exact directions, like go 200 meters and turn left. But in others, they might say, go straight a little bit, then turn where you see the big tree.
Right. And sometimes you get funny or confusing instructions, like turn left where the old bakery used to be. If you're new to the city, you have no idea where that is.
That's so true. It's a good reminder for our listeners. If you don't understand, it's okay to ask again. You can say, sorry, could you repeat that more slowly? Or could you show me on the map?
Yes, and if you have a phone with internet, you can even hand it to them and say, could you please mark it on the map? People are usually happy to help.
That's a great tip. And for those learning English, try to listen for keywords. Words like left, right, next to, opposite, behind, and in front of are very important.
Exactly. And don't be shy to use hand gestures too. You can point left or right while repeating, so left here? That helps make sure you understand.
I also love using phrases like, is it far from here? Or how long will it take on foot? These questions help you know if you should walk or maybe take a bus or taxi.
Yes, because sometimes a place might be too far to walk, and locals will tell you, oh, you'd better take a bus, or it's about a 20-minute walk. That saves you time.
And one more phrase I really like. Could you point me in the right direction? It sounds very natural and polite.
Oh, that's a good one. And if you're already going the right way, people might just say, keep going straight, or you're almost there. That feels so encouraging when you're tired.
I agree. And I think all of this makes traveling in a new city much more fun. You get to interact with locals and learn new words.
Yes, and every time you ask and understand directions, your confidence grows. It's like a mini language victory.
And that's what we want, helping listeners feel proud of using English in real situations. Sophia, I think another thing that makes asking for directions fun is the chance to learn how locals actually speak. Textbooks often give very formal examples, but real people sometimes use shorter, casual phrases.
You're right, James. For example, instead of saying, go straight, many people just say, keep going, or even, just go down this way.
Exactly. And sometimes they don't even say, turn left. They might say, hang a left, which is a very casual way to say, turn left.
Oh, yes. Or take a right. These are great phrases for our listeners to know because they will hear them a lot in real life.
And another common thing is when someone says, it's just around the corner. That means it's very close, almost at the next turn.
That's a nice phrase. And if something is really near, people might just say, it's right there, or it's just ahead.
And here's a tip for listeners. Pay attention to their tone. If someone says, oh, it's just 5 minutes away, that usually means it's close. But if they pause and say, well, it's kind of far, maybe you should take a bus.
True. And you can always ask, is it within walking distance? That's a very natural question to know if you should walk or use transport.
And speaking of transport, sometimes locals will say things like, hop on bus number 5, or catch the red line. That means you should take that bus or subway train.
Yes, and learning the words for public transportation is so helpful. Bus stop, subway station, train platform, ticket counter. These are all must-know words for travelers.
And if you're lost in a big train station, you can ask, which platform does the train to London leave from? That's a lifesaver.
I love how practical this conversation is. We're not just teaching vocabulary, we're teaching real-life survival English.
Exactly, Sophia. And the best part is, once you know these phrases, you can travel almost anywhere with confidence.
That's so true. And every time you use English in a real situation, you feel more proud and motivated to keep learning.
James, do you know what really helps me when I'm lost? I look for someone who seems approachable, like a shopkeeper, a bus driver, or even a student. They usually know the area very well. That's a smart strategy, Sophia. Shopkeepers especially are great because they stay in one place all day, so they know exactly what's around. You can start by saying, excuse me, do you know where the nearest pharmacy is?
Yes, and speaking of that, let's give our listeners some more polite ways to start their question. They can say, hi, could you help me? Or, excuse me, I'm a bit lost. Could you tell me how to get to? These sound friendly and make people want to help.
That's a good point. Tone of voice matters too. If you sound rude or too fast, people might not respond as warmly. Slow down and smile. It makes a huge difference.
And after someone helps you, it's very nice to say, thank you so much, or I really appreciate it. These phrases show gratitude and make the conversation pleasant.
Absolutely. And here's a fun idea. If you're traveling in a country where English isn't the first language, you can even learn how to say thank you in their language. It always makes people smile.
That's a great tip, James. And for our listeners who are learning English, using these polite phrases will help you sound more natural and confident.
And let's not forget about safety. If it's late at night or you feel uncomfortable, choose someone who looks trustworthy, maybe a family, a store clerk, or a security guard.
Good advice, James. And sometimes, if you really can't find your way, you can step into a cafe, buy a drink, and ask the staff. They're usually very helpful.
Yes, and some places even have free maps you can take with you. That can make finding your way much easier.
So really, getting lost can turn into a nice adventure if you stay calm, polite, and open to asking for help.
Exactly. And the more you practice these phrases, the faster they will come to you when you need them. Sophia, have you ever noticed how asking for directions can actually teach you new words about the city itself?
Oh, yes, James. For example, one time I asked a man for directions, and he said, "Go past the roundabout, then take the second exit." I had never heard the word roundabout before, but I learned that it means a circular intersection where cars go around in a circle.
Sophia, have you ever noticed how asking for directions can actually teach you new words about the city itself?
Oh, yes, James. For example, one time I asked a man for directions, and he said, "Go past the roundabout, then take the second exit." I had never heard the word roundabout before, but I learned that it means a circular intersection where cars go around in a circle.
That's such a good example. And you can also hear words like intersection or crosswalk. An intersection is where two roads meet, and a crosswalk is where pedestrians can safely cross the street.
Right, and sometimes people will use words like block. For example, walk 2 blocks and turn left. A block usually means the distance between 2 streets.
Yes, and if you're in the UK, you might hear zebra crossing. That's their word for crosswalk, because the black and white stripes look like a zebra.
I love that! And learning these little cultural words makes traveling so much more interesting.
Another fun one is alley. That means a very narrow street between buildings. If someone says, "Take the alley on your right," it means walk through that small path.
And don't forget avenue and boulevard. Those usually mean big, wide streets. If someone says, "Go down 5th Avenue," it means follow that street until you reach your destination.
Good point. And listeners, notice that when you ask for directions, you're not only learning where to go, you're learning vocabulary about your environment.
Exactly. It's like a live English lesson happening in the real world. You learn faster because you really need the words at that moment.
And after you arrive, you can even write those new words down in a notebook. That's a great way to remember them for the future.
Yes, and every time you look at those notes, you'll remember the experience too, which helps the words stick in your memory.
That's how language learning becomes a part of your life, not just something you do in a classroom.
James, I think one of the best ways to practice asking for directions is to make it a little game.
Oh, that sounds fun. What kind of game do you mean, Sophia?
Well, when I travel, I sometimes ask for directions to a place, even when I already know how to get there. It's just practice. I'll ask, "Excuse me, how can I get to the train station?" And then I see if the directions match what I already know.
That's such a clever idea. It takes away the pressure because you already know the answer, so you can focus on listening carefully and understanding every word.
Exactly. And if you travel with friends, you can even practice together. One person pretends to be lost, and the other gives directions. It's a great way to review phrases like turn left, go straight, and across from.
I love that idea. And you can even do it in your own city. Pick a place, maybe a park or a cafe, and try to explain to your friend how to get there. It's an excellent speaking exercise.
Yes, and when you do this, try to use clear language and full sentences. Instead of just saying left or right, say turn left at the traffic light. This helps you practice real-life communication.
That's a good tip for pronunciation too. When you repeat these sentences out loud, your mouth gets used to the sounds and your English becomes smoother.
And for listeners who are shy, remember, you don't have to be perfect. Even if your grammar isn't 100% correct, people will still understand you if you speak slowly and clearly.
Yes, Communication is more important than perfection. The goal is to be understood, not to give a grammar test.
And every time you succeed, you feel more confident. That confidence will make you want to talk to more people, and soon, speaking English will feel natural.
And that's the key, Sophia. Practice, practice, practice. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. Sophia, I think what we're really saying today is that getting lost isn't such a bad thing after all.
You're right, James. Sometimes getting lost is actually an adventure. You discover new streets, hidden cafes, and beautiful places you wouldn't have seen otherwise.
Exactly. And you get to meet new people when you ask for help. Each time you talk to someone, you're practicing real, natural English.
And that's the best way to improve. Real conversations help you learn faster than just memorizing words from a book.
Yes, and asking for directions teaches you so many useful phrases. Go straight, turn right, across from, next to. These words are used everywhere, every day.
And let's not forget how good it feels when you finally reach your destination. It's a little moment of success, and that success motivates you to keep learning.
So, listeners, we want you to try this. Next time you're out, ask someone for directions. Even if you're not lost, just to practice.
And when you do, tell us about your experience. Share it in the comments. Tell us which new words you used and what you learned.
And if you found today's conversation helpful, make sure to like this episode and subscribe so you never miss a chance to improve your English.
Yes, your support helps us keep bringing you these useful lessons, and we'd love to hear how you're using English in real life.
So, keep learning, keep practicing, and keep exploring, because every step, even the wrong turns, bring you closer to fluency.
And who knows? The next time you get lost, it might just be the best part of your journey.
Steven, good to see you, brother. How are you? How was your trip?
It was fine. I've been better, but it's great to be home. I've missed you all. How's Mom?
She's great. All she ever does is talk about you, her little boy that went to United States. You're her pride and joy. You know that, right?
Can't wait to see her. You? What's new with you?
Well, Nisha and I are expecting. You'll have another nephew or niece soon.
That's great. Wow. Congrats. You two are great together, you know. You have such a beautiful family. I hope that one day I can have that.
Of course, man. Come on. I mean, everything was set here for you to marry Shalini. You know, she's still pining after you. I don't think she'll ever get over you.
What are you talking about? I hardly knew her. How could she be in love with me? I couldn't go through with it even though she's a great woman. No, I left my heart in the United States. I just hope Veronica is happy.
Get over it. You're home now. Everyone here thinks so highly of you. There'll be girls throwing themselves at you. You can marry anyone you want.
I don't want to marry anyone. I want to marry her. Don't you understand?
You are incorrigible.
Steven, my baby, how are you? I miss you so much.
Hey, Mom. Great to see you.
You look so thin. Didn't those Americans feed you? Come, let's have some Thai. By the way, there is a girl here waiting for you.
Hi, Steven.
Veronica, how did you get here? How do you know where I live? I waited for you at the airport, but you never showed.
I also have some little secrets that I haven't told you about, but we can discuss that later. I realized that I was just scared of how much I love you and of the commitment that marriage requires. I'm here now. Now, there's something I want to ask you. Steven, will you marry me?
I now declare you husband and wife. You may...
All right, so it's over.
Ah, sad.
10.
Sad but sweet.
Sad but sweet, huh? 10. Well, we went from them meeting casually by a bike accident. Yeah, we had nice music. Then it
That's so
turned out
romantic.
that she was angry. They kind of broke up. They got back together.
He was being strained with all of these secret trips to save people.
It was interesting. We went a lot of different ways. People.
She was pregnant. She wasn't really pregnant.
The
She had
doctor
a
was stalking her.
stalker. He's
Yeah.
in the Secret Service.
It was an interesting ride.
Very interesting. But
Well, now we need to think of a new drama, a new soap opera or novel. So we need your input.
maybe we should open it up. What did you like? What didn't you like? And what kind of genre are you interested in? Because, there's tons of different kinds of stories we could tell.
Right. Maybe we can do something scary, like a thriller or horror.
I'm a big fan of sci-fi.
Or sci-fi. Maybe we can do something sci-fi. Maybe we can do a comedy, something maybe like Friends. I don't know.
That'd be kind of cute.
Yeah, it could be. All right, so listeners, why don't you give us your input? We need your feedback. Tell us what series you would like next. What type of series? Maybe, like we said, drama, sci-fi, action. What would you like?
And please get in touch with us. Leave comments and questions at our website, EnglishPod.com. We like to check those and answer you. So, get in touch with us and have a great day.
All right, we'll see you guys there.
Bye.
Welcome to WorldPod English Video. Today, we begin a powerful story called Love Unspoken. This is not just a story of romance, it is a journey of words, feelings, and lessons that can help you learn English more deeply. The story begins with a young man named Daniel. Daniel had just returned to his hometown after living abroad for many years. The moment he stepped onto the old streets, memories rushed back to him. He remembered the laughter of his friends, the smell of his mother's cooking, and the one person he had never forgotten, Sophia. Daniel often thought about Sophia while he was away. She was more than a friend, but less than a lover. There were so many things he wanted to say to her, yet the words always stayed silent on his lips. He wanted to say, "I'm sorry for leaving so suddenly years ago." And he wanted to say, "I love you," but he never found the courage. Here is something useful in English. When people meet after a long time, they often ask, "What's new with you?" or "How have you been?" These questions open the door to conversation. They are friendly and show that you care about someone's life. As Daniel walked toward the cafe where he and Sophia once spent hours talking, his heart beat fast. He thought about what he would say if he saw her again. Would he simply say, "It's been so long?" Or would he finally speak the truth? In English, we sometimes use the phrase, "get over someone." It means to move past old feelings of love or sadness. But Daniel knew, deep inside, that he had never really gotten over Sophia. Time had passed, but the feelings were still alive. This is where our story begins, with a man standing at the edge of memory, love, and regret. A man ready to face the words he never spoke. Daniel pushed open the door of the cafe, and the little bell above it rang softly. The smell of fresh coffee filled the air, mixed with the warm sweetness of cinnamon. He looked around carefully, and for a moment, everything seemed the same as years ago. The same wooden chairs, the same music playing quietly, the same sunlight falling across the tables. And then he saw her. Sophia was sitting near the window with a book in her hands. Her hair had grown longer, her smile was still gentle, but her eyes carried a depth he had not noticed before. Daniel froze. His mind filled with words, yet his lips stayed quiet. Here is a phrase you can use in English. "I didn't expect to see you here." It's a natural way to start a conversation when you meet someone unexpectedly. Daniel whispered those words to himself, preparing for the moment. Sophia looked up, and their eyes met. She paused, surprised, then slowly smiled. Daniel walked over, each step heavy with the weight of years apart. He finally spoke, his voice softer than he expected. "Sophia, it's been a long time." Another useful expression, it's been a while. This is a friendly way to say you haven't seen someone in a long time. You can use it with friends, family, or even colleagues. Sophia closed her book and said calmly, "Yes, it really has. Sit down." Her words were polite, but her tone carried something deeper, something Daniel couldn't read. He sat across from her, his hands nervous around the coffee cup. He wanted to tell her everything, why he left, how much he missed her, how he carried regret every single day. But all he managed to say was, "How have you been?" In English, "How have you been?" is stronger than just, "How are you?" It shows you really care about the person's life since the last time you met. Sophia answered simply, "I've been fine. Life goes on." But Daniel could hear the quiet distance in her voice. He realized this was not going to be easy. Daniel stirred his coffee slowly, watching the little circles form on the surface. He searched for words, but silence pressed between them like a wall. Finally, he took a deep breath and said, "Sophia, I owe you an explanation." Here's a useful English phrase. I owe you an explanation. It means you feel responsible to tell the truth or clarify something you did in the past. People often use it when they want to repair trust. Sophia looked at him carefully. She didn't speak right away. Her eyes seemed to say, "Yes, you do." Daniel continued, "When I left, I thought it was the right decision. I told myself I needed to study, to work, to build a future. But the truth is, I was scared of my feelings for you." In English, we sometimes say, "I couldn't go through with it." It means you couldn't complete something you had planned, usually because of fear or doubt. Daniel couldn't go through with confessing his love back then, and it haunted him. Sophia leaned back, her fingers resting lightly on her book. "Daniel," she said softly, "you disappeared. No message, no call, nothing. Do you know how that felt?" Daniel lowered his head. He whispered, "I know, and I'm sorry." The phrase, "I'm sorry," is simple but powerful. In English, when spoken honestly, it can open doors that were once locked. But sometimes sorry is not enough. Sophia's eyes glistened. "You were my best friend. You were more than that. And then you were gone." Daniel felt the weight of her words. He wanted to reach across the table, but he stayed still. Inside, he thought, "I didn't get over you. I never did." Here's another expression, to get over someone. It means to stop loving or missing a person after they leave your life. But Daniel realized he never got over Sophia, no matter how far away he went. The cafe was quiet around them. People came and went, but for Daniel and Sophia, time seemed to stop. Two hearts sat at one table, one still burning, the other unsure whether to forgive. The silence between Daniel and Sophia grew heavy, like a storm waiting to break. Finally, Daniel said, "You were always my pride and joy." His voice shook as he spoke the words he had kept inside for so long. In English, pride and joy means the person or thing that makes you feel most proud and happiest. Parents often say this about their children, but you can also say it about someone you deeply value. Daniel used it now, hoping Sophia would understand how much she meant to him. Sophia blinked, surprised. Her hands tightened slightly on her book. "Daniel, words are easy, but when you left, all I felt was that I wasn't enough." Daniel leaned forward, his tone firm yet gentle. "No, Sophia, you were too much for my young, foolish heart. I thought I needed to leave to become stronger, to be someone worthy of you. But every step away from you only showed me how empty life was without you." Here's an expression, empty without you. It's a way to describe life when someone important is missing. People often use it in songs, letters, or deep conversations. Sophia sighed. "Do you know how many nights I stayed awake pining for you?" This word pine is very poetic. To pine means to long deeply, to suffer because you miss or want someone badly. It's a beautiful but sad word, and Sophia used it honestly. Daniel felt pain in his chest hearing her say that. You pined for me, and I pined for you. But instead of coming back sooner, I let fear control me. Sophia's eyes softened, but her voice stayed steady. You broke something, Daniel. Trust doesn't heal overnight. Here's another important phrase, heal overnight. It means something cannot be fixed quickly. It takes time. Trust, relationships, even hearts need time to heal. Daniel nodded slowly. I don't expect you to forgive me today, but I want you to know I came back not to run from my past, but to face it, to face you. For the first time, Sophia looked at him not with pain, but with a trace of hope. The wall between them had cracks now, and through those cracks, a little light was shining. Daniel's words seemed to hang in the air, and Sophia looked out the window, watching the people passing by. After a moment, she asked softly, Why now? After all these years, why did you decide to come back? Daniel took a deep breath. Because I realized I couldn't go through with life pretending I didn't love you. Here's a very useful phrase, go through with something. It means to finish something you planned, even if it's difficult or painful. For example, she didn't want to give a speech, but she went through with it. Daniel used it differently. He couldn't go through with a life where his love stayed unspoken. Sophia studied his face. You think saying this now will change everything? Daniel shook his head. No, I don't expect miracles, but I had to speak. Silence was heavier than rejection. That's another helpful expression. Silence was heavier than rejection. It means not saying the truth is more painful than hearing a no. This idea can help learners express deep emotions in English. Sophia leaned closer. Do you know how many people told me to just get over you? Daniel's eyes met hers. And did you? Her voice trembled. I tried so hard, but every time someone smiled like you or spoke a phrase you used to say, my heart remembered. Here's another natural phrase, my heart remembered. It's poetic, but very expressive. It means feelings don't disappear even when the mind tries to forget. Daniel reached out slowly, his hand resting just close to hers, not touching yet. Then maybe our hearts were waiting for this moment. Sophia pulled her hand back gently, but didn't break eye contact. Daniel, if I listen to you, if I let myself believe again, I need to know you won't run away this time. Daniel's voice was steady now. I'm not running anymore. I'm here, and I'll stay as long as it takes to prove it. The cafe felt warmer, brighter. For the first time since he entered, Daniel felt a small flame of hope rising inside him. The light from the cafe window touched Sophia's face, and Daniel noticed how beautiful she looked in that moment. Not just in appearance, but in strength. She had waited, she had suffered, and yet she was still here, sitting across from him. Sophia spoke quietly. Daniel, people change. I've built a life while you were gone. I learned to stand on my own. You can't just walk back and expect everything to be the same. Daniel nodded slowly. I know. I don't want everything to be the same. I want something better, something real. I want to marry you, Sophia. Here's a useful phrase. I want to marry you. It's simple, powerful, and direct. In English, it's stronger than saying, I love you. It shows commitment and the desire to share a life together. Sophia's eyes widened. Marry me? Daniel, do you even understand what that means? Daniel leaned forward. Yes, Marriage is not just romance. It's patience, responsibility, and choosing the same person every single day. I left once, but if you give me a chance, I'll prove I can stay forever. In English, there's a phrase, choose the same person every single day. It's a poetic way to describe love as an ongoing decision, not just a feeling. Sophia's hands trembled slightly. You say this now, but how do I know you won't break my heart again? Daniel's voice softened. Because losing you once taught me what regret feels like, and regret is heavier than any fear. Here's another phrase. Regret is heavier than fear. This is a great way to express that living with guilt is worse than facing risks. Learners can use it in both personal and motivational contexts. Sophia looked down, silent for a moment, then whispered, You don't make this easy. Daniel smiled faintly. That's because love isn't easy, but it's worth it. The cafe was filled with the hum of quiet conversations, but for Daniel and Sophia, the world seemed to shrink into just two voices, two hearts, trying to find their way back to each other. Sophia leaned back in her chair, her eyes searching Daniel's face as if trying to read every hidden corner of his soul. You talk about regret, Daniel, but words are not enough. Trust is built by actions, not promises. Daniel nodded. You're right. Actions do speak louder. That's why I came back, to show you I'm not running anymore. I left my heart here, Sophia. I realized no success, no city, no achievement could fill the space where you should have been. That expression, I left my heart here, is a poetic way to say your love or true feelings remain in one place even when you are far away. It's often used in stories or songs, but you can also use it in conversation when speaking about places or people you deeply love. Sophia looked down at her cup, her voice softer now. Do you know how many people wanted me to marry someone else? They said, Move on, Sophia, he's gone, he'll never return. And still, I couldn't go through with it. This phrase again, go through with it, here means she couldn't finish the plan of marrying another person because her heart was still tied to Daniel. Daniel's chest tightened. You couldn't, because deep inside you felt what I felt. Sophia's eyes lifted, and for a moment there was no anger, only vulnerability. Maybe, or maybe I was just afraid of letting someone else in. Here's another useful phrase. Let someone in. In English, this means to allow another person to know your true feelings or become part of your life emotionally. It's very common in romantic or personal contexts. Daniel leaned closer, his voice steady. Then let me in again, not as the boy who left, but as the man who returned to stay. For the first time, Sophia didn't turn away. The wall around her heart was not gone, but it was weaker now, cracked open by honesty and time. The air in the cafe felt heavier, as if every word spoken between Daniel and Sophia carried the weight of years lost. Sophia's fingers tapped lightly on the table, a nervous rhythm. Finally, she said, Daniel, people say love is enough, but I don't believe that anymore. Love must be stronger than fear, stronger than doubt. Daniel nodded, his voice low, but determined. You're right. Love alone is not enough, but love is the reason we fight for all those other things. Sophia, I'm ready to fight for us. That phrase, fight for us, is common in English when someone wants to show they will work hard to save or protect a relationship. It's both romantic and powerful. Sophia's eyes softened slightly. And what if I say I can't trust you yet? Daniel leaned forward, his hand resting near hers. Then I'll wait. Trust is not given, it's earned. If I have to spend every day proving my heart, I will. Because the truth is, I don't want anyone else. I don't need anyone else. I only need you. Here's a useful structure. I don't want anyone else. I don't need anyone else. I only need you. This repetition creates emotional impact, and learners can use it to make their speech stronger and more memorable. Sophia's lips trembled slightly, as if she wanted to speak but held back. After a moment, she whispered, "You make it sound so simple." Daniel smiled faintly. "It is simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. I love you. I always have. And this time, I'm not afraid to say it." In English, the contrast between simple and not easy is often used to describe love, success, or life lessons. It teaches that something can be clear to understand, but still hard to live out. The cafe grew quieter, as if even the world around them was listening. Sophia finally lifted her eyes, and though she didn't give her answer yet, Daniel could feel her heart leaning closer to his than ever before. For a long moment, Sophia said nothing. She looked out at the street, where children laughed and people hurried past, then turned back to Daniel. Her voice was calm but trembling. "If I let you back into my life, Daniel, it can't be halfway. I don't want promises that fade. I want something real." Sophia was asking for all or nothing. Daniel's eyes shone with certainty. "Then all of me is yours. Not the boy who left, but the man who has learned what love truly means. I don't want to run anymore. I want to build something that lasts." This expression, "build something that lasts," is often used in relationships, business, or even personal growth. It shows the desire for permanence and stability. Sophia studied him closely, as though measuring every word. Then, with a deep breath, she whispered the words he had longed to hear. "Daniel, maybe we still have a chance." Daniel's heart raced. He reached across the table, and this time, Sophia didn't pull away. Her hand rested in his, fragile yet firm. The silence between them was no longer heavy. It was full of promise. Here's another phrase, a second chance. In English, this means another opportunity to make something right after failure. It carries hope, forgiveness, and the idea that love or life can begin again. Daniel smiled, his voice steady. "Thank you for this second chance. I won't waste it." Sophia's lips curved into a small but genuine smile. "Don't thank me yet. Show me. Actions, Daniel. Show me." Daniel nodded, his grip gentle but strong. "Then let this be the beginning, not the end. A beginning where I finally say what I should have said long ago. I love you, Sophia, and I'm not sorry anymore." And with those words, the story of silence turned into the story of courage. A love once unspoken had finally found its voice. Thank you for being a part of Podcast World Pod English Video. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment so we can continue bringing you stories that inspire your heart and strengthen your English every single day.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. Indicates something someone does very often.
All she ever does.
The mother of someone's wife.
Mother-in-law.
Someone or something that makes you very proud.
Pride and joy.
To run away with a lover, especially with the intention of getting married.
Elope.
To want or desire something or someone very much.
Pine.
A marriage arranged by someone other than the person's getting married.
Arranged marriage.
To do, something that you have thought or talked about.
Go through with.
Money or property brought by a bride to her husband at marriage.
Dowry.
Not able to be corrected or changed.
Incorrigible.
A marriage partner, a husband or wife.
Spouse.
Let's try that faster. A marriage arranged by someone other than the person's getting married.
Arranged marriage.
The mother of someone's wife.
Mother-in-law.
Money or property brought by a bride to her husband at marriage.
Dowry.
To do, something that you have thought or talked about.
Go through with.
To run away with a lover, especially with the intention of getting married.
Elope.
Indicates something someone does very often.
All she ever does.
To want or desire something or someone very much.
Pine.
Not able to be corrected or changed.
Incorrigible.
Someone or something that makes you very proud.
Pride and joy.
A marriage partner, a husband or wife.
Spouse.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
All she ever does. All Mary ever does is talk about her boyfriend and how great he is, and so on. It makes me sick. All she ever does. What do you mean you're tired? All you ever do is sit here and watch TV. All she ever does. I don't understand you. All you ever do is complain. You are never happy. Pride and joy. Jack's new car is his pride and joy. He washes it every weekend. Pride and joy. My brother is very happy with his newly born child. It's his pride and joy. Pride and joy. And here's a picture of my pride and joy, my 6-month-old daughter. Pine. Victoria has been pining over her boyfriend since he left for France. Pine. It's so hard to quit smoking. I've been pining for a cigarette all day. Pine. I read that pining for lost love can turn into a physically addictive pleasure. Can you believe that? Go through with. I don't know if I can go through with this deal. I'm having doubts. Go through with. Molly was supposed to get married last weekend, but she couldn't go through with it, so the wedding was canceled. Go through with. I committed to this project, and now I have to go through with it. Incorrigible. That criminal is incorrigible. He was released from prison and committed another crime that same day. Incorrigible. We live in an incorrigible country that will continue to make the same mistakes over and over again. Incorrigible. We have to find a new home for our dog since he is simply incorrigible. Today he chewed and destroyed all of my shoes.